Hey everybody, it's Lori Crete here. Welcome to the Beauty Biz Show. Kind of doing an impromptu episode today with my friend and Beauty Biz Club expansion member, Elisha Reynoso. And she is the founder of the cutest spa. And I believe it's Central California, right? Is that where you're located?
We're in the middle, in the valley. Mm-hmm.
So I called her this morning, this is really last minute, and I said, you know what? I feel like the industry as a whole is struggling right now. And part of that reason that we're all struggling, whether you're back at work or not back at work, there's not a whole lot of communication from anybody. So I thought it would just be fun to have a conversation with her to share with you some inspiration, some motivation. And as we dive into the show today, I'll explain to you why I felt like this would be so important. But where is Maven, your beautiful beauty biz? Where are you located?
So we're in Visalia, California, small town. Yeah, farming, rural. So.
And how long have you been an esthetician?
So I've been an esthetician for over 20 years, but I've had Maven it'll be 4 years. I got Maven in November.
Awesome. And your place is so cute. If you guys aren't following her on social media, I know a lot of people are, but you have one of the best social media presence that I've seen. What is your social media handle so people can head over there and see how you're putting everything together and staying strong through this incredibly challenging time?
Sure. It is Maven Skin and Beauty. So yeah, okay. You can follow us. We have fun on there for sure.
And you do it all yourself as of right now.
I do have a VA. She's someone that's been with me for a really long time. She's worked for me before and I've known her forever. And she went to school for it kind of even almost while she was like working for me at one point. So she helped me out. And then my employees been helping me a lot lately too, which has been so great. So with photos and everything, we've become like a little team together. So it's been fun.
Let's talk about what's happening in our world. We're in California. Both of us are in California. It's been a time that we never expected to have to deal with. And I brought you on for a few reasons because I know that you're open, you'll share with people. We need to communicate. We need to hear from other people that are doing whatever they can to power through this time. And you're just a perfect example of somebody who I've watched. And it's funny because we meet every Monday, the expansion girls of the Beauty Biz Club. And about 3 weeks ago, I was watching you and I'm like, she looks so tired, and not as an insult.
Yeah.
Not as an insult at all. But you've been dealing with a lot and you've been showing up and you've been maintaining your business. So that's really what I want to talk about. Maybe the personal toll that it's taken on you, or the things that have lit you up in a positive way. So tell me, when did you shut down?
So it was, I think it was a day or two before they shut us down. I want to say it was like the 17th. I think they shut us down like by the 19th. My girls just started to get nervous. And when they started to talk to me about it, that's when I felt like, okay, like if you feel this way, I don't want to push things. So we closed. And I sent everyone home. I think in the beginning, the world was so crazy that it didn't feel right even to leave the shop full of product. So I literally like packed everything and moved it into my house, which was wild. And it just like took over my dining room, and I was running things kind of by myself from the dining room. And I never like stopped. I think, being an esthetician and being in this industry for so long, it's like our hearts are to care for our clients and really to like, we're like healers in a sense, right? And so when you lose the ability to do that, I just immediately go to like, hey, what can I still do? How can I still meet them? And that's just basically what I did. I feel like I immediately started seeing people who were feeling like they wanted to be generous to other people who they knew were like suffering worse. And so the first thing I started to see really was people wanting to buy gifts. They'd reach out to me to buy gifts, and then they'd want them to be delivered, sometimes secretly, sometimes, with a card or whatever. And so I think I just got really inspired by that. And I just kept going and building on that.
How many employees did you have during shutdown?
So I had just 2 employees during shutdown and 1 room renter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are all the girls still involved in your business right now? Because guys, we're talking March and we are now almost in September. Yeah. So let's just talk about what's happened.
Yeah. So no, I have 1 employee with me right now. That's pretty much it.
And when you say people just started reaching out to you wanting to buy gifts, do you believe they have to know you're there as a business owner? And this is something that so many people talked about. They're like, but I haven't heard from my hairdresser. I haven't heard from my esthetician.
Yeah.
Were you communicating with them pretty like consistently?
Yeah, I was. And I have throughout the whole time. I did use a couple of the letters that you posted, in the Beauty Biz Club, which was so helpful because I think it was overwhelming to formulate and write things, especially immediately, right? It's like I got in a groove after a while, but immediately it was helpful to have that. And I did try to keep consistent just with communication. And I feel like that's one of the key things that really helped keep everything going.
And I want people to hear from you because you have a lease on a space, you had employees, you have children that are now being homeschooled. Tell me what that part of okay, so let's set up a visual for everyone. So your spa, you have to close it down. You move everything into your kitchen or your dining room. And then suddenly your house turns into also a school.
Yes.
Where are your kids learning these days? In what room?
I will say, like, in our district, like, it didn't go that great. So I mean, they didn't really do Zoom classroom with our shutdown. So there was just like some online learning, and it was super frustrating and hard, especially for my daughter. My son kind of was like, okay, he had just geared himself up to do like online summer school, so he sort of knew what that was like. But they were upstairs in their rooms, like at their desks at some point. But I swear, at a number of points, I just looked at her like, don't do it. I don't know what to tell you. Just shut the computer and shut it down. Like, I can't. We tried, and there were some rough days there for sure. But we're in a better groove now because now we're doing Zoom classroom, and now I'm kind of back here. So it's a little better. My husband also works from home though. So we've got him in the dining room working and both the kids upstairs. Thank God I'm here. I can be here because otherwise we'd all be home on top of each other. So.
And was your community one of them that got to go back to work for a few weeks, or did you guys ever get to open?
Like 2 weeks, yes.
Okay. Tell me what those 2 weeks were like for you in your beauty biz. Were people flowing back in? Were they scared? Like,
no, yeah. I mean, we were slammed immediately. Yeah. So it was really fun for 2 weeks.
And then tell me about, because if people go on your Instagram and look, you have one of the most gorgeous retail setups that I've seen at a spa. How important was it to have that inventory, and how much time did you have to devote more time to that throughout COVID shutdowns?
Yes, for sure, because that takes a lot of energy and time. But it is something that I've always loved. So I love just like, geeking out on stuff and hunting for things and all that. But really the shutdown did allow me to expand it more than it was, and really to just find things that I hadn't had the time to find before, which was really cool.
Now, I'm not saying this to make anyone listening in feel bad, but I know because you openly share this to empower other people. Your April of 2020, you made more money closed, your business closed.
Yeah.
You made more money on retail than you did of April of 2019 with retail and a full-blown spa. What lesson did you take away from that you could share with our listeners that are going, I need a new business model?
Yeah, I feel like first it was listening, just like really listening to my people and what they were wanting, and thinking creatively about how I could meet them, at home. And honestly, being in the club and being able to collaborate with amazing women who we're all in this together, right? And we're brainstorming and coming up with ideas for facial kits and all the things. So I think that was a huge part of it. And then, but I would say, I mean, the takeaway is that if you want to grow something, you have to invest time and energy into it. It's always a challenge for me because you know me, I'm a 50-50 girl. It's like my passion is both facials and retail. And so sometimes we can get so busy in the treatment room that, you know, the time that gets carved out for retail or research or things like that, it doesn't get, you know, really put into the calendar. Maybe it's like, oh, I'll do it, you know, on the weekend. And then my kids are like, mom. And I'm like, and I'm not turning it off. So I think it was honestly really good for me to have that time to see what I could do and what was possible, and grow it in a way that like met the needs of my clients and got everybody excited about what we were offering. So
this is one of the things that I have admired and I admire about you the most. When I said that you look tired, that was in a private meeting, but watching you as the forward face, so to speak, of your business and leading your employees and showing up for your clients, you would never, ever guess that you even felt tired the way you're showing up for your business. And that's what we have to do, right? We have to put on these different hats and make people feel okay. Because the second you can show up and make people feel okay, they're going to spend money in your business. Yeah. Because it's still I don't know, maybe I'm not articulating it correctly, but it's a way of making people feel better, being around energy that's contagious. Yeah. And you did that really well. So I don't want to step into where you are right now because I think there's still more of the story. You have just consistently shown up, made the changes necessary to save your business. It goes back to what I said in the beginning. And tell me if you've been living by this. You have to treat your business right now like you would any relationship that may be struggling, that you want to fight for, that you care about enough to fight for. Have you put like that hat on literally?
Oh yeah. And I think like every day is a new day. It's like, okay, what do we need today? And what's the latest, you know, like how are we going to move forward each day? Because we don't have answers. And so we're just like, I mean, every day I'm like, okay, you know, do we need this? Is this going to work for our clients? And if so, how many do we need and how much money do I throw at it? I think that that's the daily that I'm in right now, is making those kind of decisions like on the fly really fast, not really knowing what's ahead. But also just not living in fear and like going with my gut on things, right? And a lot of times it works out. And I mean, occasionally there's things where it doesn't. So, and just learning from that and moving on the next day.
I think what we have to do now that we didn't really do before in the beauty industry is we have to recognize that money and success does like speed, like those fast decisions. Yes. But in the strategy all of a sudden behind it really has to be focused on who do I want my future self to be, making decisions, you know, with that in mind, forecasting it.
Yeah.
So going back to having your best April ever in business during a lockdown is something to be really extremely proud of. But I also want to mention, I don't think at that time you even had an online store. You were doing this through phone calls and emails, right?
Right. So we have had an online store. Gosh, it's probably been like maybe a couple of years, but literally there were like, I don't know, 5 Eminence items on there and 10 Rhonda Allison, and like that was it. And most of what we had was just in store. I had never really spent the time getting everything added. You know, you have to do all the weighing and the measuring and all the things for shipping that are set in there. So that was another blessing, having the shutdown, because it was like I could spend all the time I had, you know, working on that, because that's laborious, right? So we got all that done. And then now that it's, you know, sort of up to speed, when things come, it's so much simpler. We just add as we go, and it feels really good to have tackled that for sure.
So you enhanced and streamlined a system.
Yeah.
But your best month ever kind of triggered that. You paid attention to what worked and you did more of it. You made that type of decision.
Well, and, you know, when you're forced to be in that situation where I'm like navigating, you know, text message, Instagram message, and emails from my dining room with just like everything everywhere. It was like, I think I'm going to lose my mind.
Plus kids at home and a husband working at the dining room table with you.
I mean, he was like kicked out to the kitchen table. It was crazy. So I said, this is getting so much that I have too many avenues of communication. I can't, like, as one person, I can't like manage it all. So yeah, that's why we started working on it. And we still get communication, but it's less, and we can drive it now the other way. A lot of times people still want to talk, they don't want to just go straight to the website, but it's made it a lot easier for sure.
Yeah, I find that too. When I blocked off extra time, the few times I got to go to work, I couldn't get people to leave the spa. They're so hungry for connection right now. You can do an hour and a half facial with them and they still don't want to leave.
Yeah. Even retail. Like I had a client come for retail yesterday. She stayed for an hour just to chat.
It's crazy. And, it really shows us how, I want to say, important that we are in the lives of our clients. Yeah. They want to support our business. They want to connect with us. I think just being in our space, a space created for the creation of beauty, makes people feel better.
Yes. I find that too, even with the shop people. We've been having new people even come in and they're like, oh, it's just so pretty in here. And they're just excited to be somewhere.
That's what I said to the gal who purchased my spa in LA. I'm like, she asked me a few questions about shipping kits. I go, if you can do retail, tell them to dress up in their fanciest clothes, get out their best handbag, and to come down and shop. And they will be so excited. And she's like, oh my gosh, Laura, you're right. She goes, I got dressed up to go to the dentist this week. So people are looking for a place to be. I was on a meeting this morning, and it was with some male hairdressers. And they said they were floored when they started trying to get us back to work in California. They were floored when they started becoming aware of the fact that maybe we're not highly respected as career-driven professionals in the beauty industry. The feedback they were getting from officials, I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
And I have to say the opposite. My mission is to really raise the level of professionalism in this industry. But I look at a woman like you, who has been navigating a shutdown for several months, keeping her business open, record-breaking months, at home with her husband and her kids. And then let's step into your latest, no, not even. We need to go back to, I think it was your next phase. You remodeled your spa, part of your spa.
Okay, let's see. That was the week before we got shut down for a second time. I called my contractor and I said, I think I need you to come look at this open space because, we had walk-in brow bar, we had walk-in LED bar, all these things that we could no longer do. And it just felt like this doesn't make sense for half of my square footage to be sitting empty. And who knows when the world will go back to a place where we can be in open rooms together without masks on, because most people that come to brow bar, they don't just want brows done. They want their lip done. They want their lower face done. And we couldn't accommodate that. Same thing with LED bar. They had to take that mask off. So I think he came out that following Monday and we met and he kind of gave me the details. And he's like, okay, well, you think about it and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, you can start. I don't need to think about it. He looked at me like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know how you're going to do this around us trying to do facials, but we're just going to try to figure out how to make this work because I feel really strongly that this is what I'm supposed to do. So he goes, okay, we could start early. He started talking. Literally like 2 hours later, they shut us down. And he texts me like, oh my God, I just thought you got shut down. And so he's like, let me see if I can get a crew. He literally got a crew out there like that night to like measure, and they started the next morning. It was just
so you turned that whole common area into a treatment room. Is that what you did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It took them about maybe under 3 weeks. They're done. So it's finally done. So that just felt like a gift. I felt like that was like a divine thing that whole thing worked out that way. And he just like jumped on it and took care of us. It was amazing.
So we were talking about this a little bit before we hit the record button. Where did you find the stuff for your room? Because I find even when I went to Target the other day, living here in California, which is the the mecca of overindulgence of everything. There were like 2 cactus prints that I could have bought. One of them had a smashed frame. I've been looking for a desk for a friend. There's not a desk to buy anywhere. Like, how did you even find stuff to furnish the room?
Well, the room is fairly empty. It's not furnished yet. Hopefully it will get there. But I've just told myself, I don't know what date we're opening, so I'm not going to like put a lot of pressure on myself to find it all right now. I did, I already had like run down to Lowe's and bought, because they have stock cabinetry that I really like. So they had those in stock at Lowe's. I was able to like get the sink in, get the cabinets. But as far as like the rest of the furniture, we'll see. I am having someone who does carpentry on the side. He's doing some shelving install for me. He's working on it right now. That just seemed the smartest way. I couldn't even find a storage cabinet for like just a utility storage cabinet. There's none available at Lowe's, and they would look it up for me online and be like, yeah, it just has no available date. We don't know. So I've just held off on some things. I did get an IKEA order in though. I mean, it's very minimal what you can get shipped, but I did get a few things.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is what I'm saying. So for those of you, for anyone listening who doesn't feel proud to be a beauty business owner, there are women like Elisha out there that are making decisions and powering through these challenges of businesses in a way that I don't think top CEOs of top companies can do right now. Honestly, because our resources are slim all the way around. We're not allowed to actually work. And so many of us are still showing up, doing the best we can to create a bright future for ourselves. So now we're going to segue in. Okay, guys, I know. I'm going to send her a superhero cape after this. Tell everybody what you're doing now. So then they shut us down in California. You outsell retail from your previous year. You put an addition on or rearrange a remodel in your spa. You get a store set up. Now what are you doing? Tell everybody what you're doing now, because this is the cherry on top, you guys.
So now we're doing the outside brow bar on our front sidewalk in front of our big windows. And it's been like 109 this week.
But people are still showing up. And this is legal, by the way. California, this is how we can work outside. By a trash can.
Yes. So my landlord was basically like, whatever you want to do, you do what you want to do. So anyway, so we have set up out there and we just do super early. We just do super early in the morning and we shut down between 11 and 12. We're doing maybe like 3 mornings right now.
What does it look like? What is it? Tell me exactly, because I know people are going to want to know. Are you wearing a mask, a shield? Do you have outlets out there? Like, fill me in on the scoop. I want to know too.
Okay. So we have 2 big windows and we have 2 doors. So what we've done is we've taken 2 rolling tables out front and pushed them up against our windows, and we run the cord from the wax heater inside. We leave our doors open so we don't shut the doors, and we just run it to the outlets inside or an extension inside. And then we have our bar stools, a rolling file cabinet with all the waxing supplies, gloves, all the things. And then we just have everything else set up on the table. Have a really pretty vintage screen right here.
For those of you guys listening in, this is also available on YouTube, so you can get a visual.
So we use that to kind of like partition it off so it's a little bit private. But I did find a bigger, more sturdy white one on Amazon that I just ordered yesterday. So if that works, I'm going to get 2 of them so we're more covered, so the client feels less, because we're street front. So they're sitting in a chair on the sidewalk and cars are driving right in front of us.
I know I mentioned this to you on our private call on Monday, the club call, but I wanted to know, what are people doing that are driving? Because I think this is brilliant. You're going to get exposure for your business. People are going to see you. You're positioning yourself as a really strong business owner in your community. What are the people driving by doing when you're out there?
It's like in shock. We're like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? But yeah, we have gotten some attention from it. I feel like the thing that has helped the most, because I know we were talking about exposure with this on Monday, is yesterday we spent time taking photos of it, and then we did a very quick video tour of it. And that actually hit Instagram today, and we've got a ton of reaction from that and online bookings today. So I think people just need to see it. When we say, hey, we're doing outside brow bar, people are like, what? Like, so I think showing them exactly what it's like has helped them make a decision whether they want to come or not. So
what is the earliest people have booked an outside brow appointment?
Well, right now we're doing 8 a.m. We could potentially do earlier. We're just seeing how full we get.
Okay.
And then we're trying to keep the store open too. So trying to keep the store open like 10:30 to 3 for shopping. But we might change hours based on the reaction. I mean, every day, new decisions, right? So yeah, we'll see.
Well, I know your business is going to power up as soon as this is over, just because of the commitment that you have, you know, how committed you've been to your business and making it survive during these times. What I would like people to hear from you now, so they know you're actually human and not like Wonder Woman, is will you share your biggest meltdown that you've had this whole time? Like, just so people know you're human.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like one of the first times I went to the grocery store without my kids, you know, when this all went down. I just started crying in the store. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot to navigate. And you never know when it's going to hit you, you know, like I think as moms, we're so tough and we put on all that strength when we're with our family that it hit me when I wasn't with them.
What do you think it was? You were just alone finally, or did you see something there that?
Yeah, because you know it's hard to get alone when we're all quarantined together. I think it was we were alone, and it all just. I think I could just kind of like, it was quiet at the store, and I was just in my brain pondering, you know, and it all just sort of hit me. But yeah, I feel like there have been a number of moments where I've been like, oh gosh. What am I going to do now? You know? But I try not to let myself get into fear mode or, you know, look at things from any sort of negative perspective. I always try to take like one day at a time and be grateful. And I feel like, of course, the club is like the perfect place to be for that because we are that way for each other too, you know? So anyway, yeah.
It's the Beauty Biz Club that she's talking about. And it's funny because this has been my vision for 10 years for this industry, is to have a safe space where we can help each other power up. And I didn't know it would be a world lockdown before people really recognize the power in it. I know you're very strong in your faith, and that's probably one way that you stay positive, but and surrounding yourself. You also have a darling husband who I've met a few times. Gosh, I'm trying to think what else. I had so many questions for you. What does your future look like at the spa? If you can remove the current situation, what do you see for your spa when all of this is over?
Well, I mean, the exciting thing is with the new room addition, I had 2 girls sharing a space, and my employee that I have right now, she's so stellar. And so she was working part-time. And so when we go back, I'll have her full-time in a room, which will be so great. Because when we did open for those 2 weeks, we just didn't even have enough spots. So we'll have more appointment times on the schedule, which will be so good. Because, you know, the more exposure you get through this kind of, even with Instagram and all that, it's going to bring more. So just be prepared for that.
I thought of the next question. What has your landlord given you any breaks on your lease at all?
Yeah, they did in the beginning, the first, I think it was like the first 2 months of shutdown, but not since then. And I haven't asked. I mean, I could, but I've sort of been in this moment of like, I'll ask if I really need to.
There's a letter in the club, by the way, if you need it. Yeah. A template to ask.
I've just sat in that, like, I'll ask if I need to, you know, and I'll know when I need to. So we'll see. Yeah. So
how many treatment rooms do you have? You have
3 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said you had 3 employees, you're down to 1 employee. Will the other gal come back, or did she move on and do something else? What happened there?
That was, so I have 1 esthetician employee and then 1 esthetician booth renter. And then I had 1 front desk girl. My front desk girl is the one that's not here right now. But
Okay.
we'll probably end up using her occasionally when we open back up. And I was trying to hire more of a full-time front desk person, but I started that right before the second shutdown. So then it was like, okay, well, we'll just wait on that. So, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I felt like, okay, timing's not right. We'll just put it on the back burner for a minute, and we'll start again when we know we're reopening.
Okay, a few more questions and then I'll let you get home to your family, but I'm so excited to have you here. How many different brands do you think you retail and carry? Now, you guys, remember this. I have to set the stage again because you were in a small town. How big is your business? It's not monstrosity of a business.
It's like 1,200 square feet.
And you have 3 treatment rooms and just this gorgeous, what is your Instagram handle? I think I told them to follow you and then we never even shared what it was.
Yeah. Oh, Maven Skin and Beauty.
Okay. So how many brands do you think you are carrying right now?
Oh, God. I mean, I would say over 10 at least, maybe 15. I don't know. I need to go count.
Well, okay. So then you just not only have skincare, but you have other pieces of, I would say, like wellness and luxury, things that make you feel good, right? Look good, feel good, or protect your skin. So what is selling the best? Yeah, like a lot more of it. What's selling the best for you right now? Bundles or skincare or?
I think it's probably a good even keel between skincare and I would say like the bundles and tools. We're doing but yeah, it wasn't, I mean, obviously we hit Mother's Day during quarantine, so it was all Mother's Day baskets. So I upped all the giftable items. And then I started thinking about things that people would want, just being stuck at home, like what would make people feel good. So then it was like robes and eye masks and all the things, you know. So we do move more of those things now than we ever did before. But we're still definitely moving skincare. So, but I know I've told you before, we're big on gifting, and so we have clients that like rely on us for that now. So when they want a gift, they come get something for someone here. So we try to have all the ranges from like the little eye masks to bath bombs and all sorts of things. So.
Yeah, I think that was one thing when I would send out my marketing newsletters to my spa clients, they would write back and say, I don't know what I need. Just something to feel better. That's why I started carrying the hand lotions and eye masks and luxurious lip balms and those little things. I personally myself was thinking about this when you said, you know, anything that would make somebody feel better at home. Do you know I bought 3 vacuum cleaners during shutdown? My house has never been so clean. That's what's making me feel better right now.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So, well, is there any bit of advice you'd like to give somebody out there? Because I feel like, and I don't know, am I right with all the fires, and there's some girl in our expansion group girls that are evacuated now, and we're over it. We're over it. And do you feel it this week more than maybe ever before for some reason?
It feels heavy to me this week for sure. I mean, it's like all I can do is pray. I just feel like one day at a time and pray. And I mean, we are going to see suffering, and we can't change that in the world, right? Like we just got to do our best every day to pray and get up and do our thing.
Yeah. And I think that also just thinking, and you're a perfect example of somebody who's living this, thinking about what kind of space can I create, or who can I be as a beauty practitioner when I head back to work that makes somebody's life more enjoyable, right? You know, maybe help them remove some stress. It's all about looking and feeling beautiful.
Yeah. And self-care. I mean, we need it now more than ever, right?
Well, yeah. What have you been doing for self-care? Is there anything that bringing products home?
Yeah. I mean, I go out, when it wasn't crazy, like this weird weather this week, I'd been going out every morning with my coffee and my robe, and I'd like, do a devotional or have a prayer time, and then take that morning like slow before I headed into like crazy work mode. And that really helped me. And then, the whole exercise thing, not being able to go to class and having to like figure that out. I'm figuring it out little by little, but that's huge for me, moving my body, and then, starting to go on walks early in the morning if I can, in the last couple of weeks. So just the little things.
That's what Jay and I, how you said you've been navigating and shifting your business. We are even doing that in our personal life. Like our thing used to be date night, Saturday night, Mastros.
Yes.
I would get my margarita and he would get his martini or whatever he drinks. It's called the Viking. And now you know what our date is. We get up at like 5 a.m. and go for a walk on Thursdays. Yeah. And then after we found one coffee spot that you can sit outside and have a coffee. So, it's just adapting to it because it's 120 here. I think we're going to have these temperatures until October by the looks of the weather. So
we will too. Yeah. I don't think it's going away very quickly.
I know. I seriously, because we usually, for you guys listening in, have 2 meetups a year in the club. And we missed our March one, and it looks like we're going to miss our September one too. But I do have visions about us all being together again, and I can't wait. Like that's one of the things in my mind that's keeping me going, like our sisterhood.
It's so true. Like I would not have gotten through this as well, I think, without all those ladies for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So support system is huge.
It is huge. Well, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you hopping on here just to share. I'm really proud of you. I think you're such an inspiration and such a strong woman. And that's why I just feel like just any type of communication from somebody who is navigating it instead of, I don't know the proper word, maybe shrinking, you are really expanding in a way that is, good for other women and men in our industry to get a taste of.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Of course.
You.
All right. Have an awesome day. Give a shout out one more time to your Instagram because you deserve as many followers as possible.
Thank you. It's Maven Skin and Beauty.
All right. And if you guys are in her area and need an awesome gift, she's turned into a personal shopper for the time being. So take advantage of it.
Totally. Aww.
All right, Elisha, thanks so much for joining me. Have an awesome afternoon.
Thank you. You too.